Hey Terry, how are you?
Hey Rian, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yep.
Hi everyone,
Oh,
how are you?
good, good. Good to see you.
Me too. Is there any way to edit the meeting note?
Yeah, you should be able to.
I can't
You
create.
have to click the edit button at the upper left corner.
Yeah, sure. Okay, just want
Is it
to.
working?
Let me try. Why it's not working? No. Oh yes. Yeah, yes.
Do you know, does anyone know who's gonna present the the Hey Drum project today? It's in the agenda.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've joined yet.
Okay. Yeah, I saw in the meeting notes from last meeting, Moro from Kairos or Spectral Cloud joined the meeting. Maybe that's the person who requested to present.
Maybe let's tag them and see if they're around.
Okay. I just sent a message in the channel. Hopefully someone showed up.
So maybe we can discuss the AI for science first. Just quick go through it.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you need to share the screen?
No. I just want to mention that there is a new initiative in the community about AI for science, and think it's quite related to the workloads. So, but I don't know, like the whole process is like they should go through the TOC first and then go to the tech workload, or we can ask them to present in the tech workload meeting. blah blah. Just for sharing like what it looks like. So
I think normally the TLC triage is the issue first.
yeah.
Sorry, is that
Then
for
not,
approval of a initiative?
yeah, I think so. So,
So
wait,
for
so
initiatives,
go
so
ahead.
initiative that DOC has put down the bar, so the approvals are actually done by the tags themselves. So what the other tags do to get it approved, like somebody bring the initiative to the tag, say this is an initiative that I think fit well with this tag. And then amongst the leads and the tech leads, there's a bit of a lazy consensus. It's not even a formal vote. Say this looks like a viable project. And then they approve the initiative. People go off, they create the information, they do the white paper or whatever they propose, and they come back and present to the tag. And when the tag is happy with the output, that's then submitted to the TOC for approval. So it's low bar of entry to get people working.
Mm. So basically, should they go through the TOC first and then back to the tag, or is it fine to?
No, TOC last. So if you want an initiative, you create the ticket, link it through the labels to the specific tag, talk to the tag, and if the tag leadership says, yes, that sounds like a good idea, the initiative can start. But there must be a tech lead assigned to the initiative to help oversee and make sure it's not the thing that drags on forever, that there's direction, a bit of project management there. And only once the work is done and the tag is happy with the results, they send it to the TOC to evaluate. What you could also do is speak to your TOC liaison for the tag. I just have to check who yours are and say we've got this initiative. And if you want any TOC input, speak to your liaison. But you can get the work going and produce something without even asking the tag's permission of the
Yeah,
TOC.
so it makes sense to like if they are ready, ask them to present in the TOC community meeting. And,
Ryan, do you know if
Yes,
this process has been documented somewhere?
it should be. Let me have a look for it.
Okay. Yeah, because I imagine this will get frequently asked by community members.
Yeah. Some of the other tags, I don't remember which one. There's one that's really rolling with it. They approve a new initiative just about every other week. So let me quickly see if I can find the documentation for the approval.
and that's all about this agenda. So
I think several of you know me, Ray and Josh, and I talked to you on before as well. I'm a generalist, so I do a lot of just go to different places and trying to get things together. So there are two things that would relate to what you just mentioned in Kent. One is the AI for science. I'm a part of a ML Commons community. There's a science community that we're doing scientific benchmarking. So definitely that's related to that. Another is OCP in the Harvard community. We are, as have proposed, there'll be more tightly collaboration between Harvard software co-design initiatives. So I already invited someone from the batch working group, probably will present in the OCP community and I'll do more and so basically for Harvard people to understand software side better and vice versa.
Thank you for the additional info and welcome, Victor.
Thanks.
Stephen, you're here. So you were in the meeting last time, right? So we are wondering if you know who's gonna present the Heijon project today. That's added to the agenda. Do you know? Can't hear
So
you.
this was through the Kairos, right? So Moro from the Spectral Cloud was here. They had asked to reschedule for today, and then I think that was the plan. I think they had said at the time that it may push out another month. So
Okay.
they didn't say anything, but that may have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're not here today, I think they might have had a conflict, but um, I can ping them quick. I don't know if they're around.
That's fine. Yeah, I shared the meeting notes, the link to the meeting notes in the chat. Feel free to add your name to the list of participants. And I just added like the first item, which should be quick. Just want to briefly mention that we have an opportunity to meet in person at Amsterdam, and we do have a maintainer session. The final list of speakers is still to be determined, but we welcome everyone here or anyone who's interested in joining in the future to join our session. Yeah. Who's going to KubeCon?
I'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Rajas?
Busy as well, I think.
I'm
Awesome.
planning to be there.
Okay, good luck. Yeah, I got, it's a lengthy process, for the visa application for me. But I'm lucky that I get to join this time. Okay, guess we don't have many topics in the agenda today. Anything else you guys want to discuss? Are there any like sub-projects that we should pay attention to? Do we have any items
Okay,
from last meeting?
one more update about the cloud native agentic. So this is initiative, and we have a small group of people. We are so basically based on the last leading meeting. I mentioned I'd like to schedule a meeting together to plan for the new year about what we are going to do. What's like should we like have some white paper or kind of that. So the result is like we are documenting something. So not a meeting right now. So after we have something, then we may make a meeting and invite people to discuss the next plan for the whole year. So that's the progress up to now.
Sounds good. Rian, you posted the link to initiatives. Do you have something to add?
Yeah, you can just have a read through there. It doesn't explicitly explain the approval process, but it's you can derive from that it's managed by the tag. So the first few, and I think that's where the confusion came in. The first few, the TOC just got it kickstarted and help approve, but from now on, the tag can approve. And then it would be helpful if the project run project board with their initiatives, and then in the meeting go through the board, see what initiatives is under the tag, check in on progress to make sure it's moving forward, that there's people, and if you need to recruit people, that people in your meeting can become aware there's something interesting that I can work on.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of marketing your initiatives in your firms.
Okay, thanks. And Victor, you mentioned in the chat.
Yeah, so you're probably aware of this thing called the cloud event, right? So extending that is a CD event, which is to make sure the CI/CD pipelines interoperable and also works better with GitOps event. And so this is the initiative I have started in CD Foundation to define DataOps events The idea is similar, to be interoperable between all the different data workflows, including data catalog, data pipelines such as Informatica. I think this is really just beginning. Yeah, if you're interested in joining that, let me know. Actually, I have the link to the meeting. If you are interested in joining that, I'll post the link to that meeting next Wednesday in the DataOps initiative in CD Foundation.
Yeah, feel free to share in the Slack channel and post it in the meeting notes as well. I imagine some folks might be interested. And Rajas, you want to go next?
Yeah, I just added the link to the scheduling challenges white paper that's taking shape in the tag. So we've got a small group who's trying to shepherd this white paper to completion. We're targeting to get in a draft that we can share with CNCF by end of this month, so that it can be ready by KubeCon. So yeah, that's on track.
Yeah, awesome. I
Yeah.
briefly reviewed it. It's some of them like looks outdated, but I made some suggestions to it, and hopefully more people can actively review it before it's getting released.
Yep. I think the one of the efforts that we're trying to run is to update it because of the dated content there. So yeah, goes without saying, like, looking forward to review comments, suggestions, and everything. So feel free to go through that draft.
Sounds good. By the way, when are we tracking like the meeting invites, like the meeting time for different like initiative or white paper?
I've added to
Maybe
the
we should.
same calendar as this tag. So if you
Oh,
just
okay.
go to the CNCF calendar, yeah, for
Yeah.
Tag Workloads Foundation, you should be able to see that meeting. It happens
Okay.
every Wednesday, a couple of hours later to this meeting. So yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I wonder if we should keep track of all the activities happening for this tag so that others like when they see it, they can join. Maybe we should keep a running document somewhere, maybe as part of this meeting notes. Yeah, we can discuss later. Seems like Moro joined.
Hello,
Hello?
everyone. Sorry for being late. I got confused with the hours. But
Oh,
I'm
no
here.
worries, sorry. I know it got changed recently, so yeah, that's okay. We're happy to see you here. And are you planning to present today?
Yeah, I have something. I'll try to make it as short as possible, but if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to stop me, or I'm gonna try to put this on the side so that I can see you. All right. So this is a presentation we recently gave also at FOSDEM, and it's basically how we ended up building our own Linux distribution focused on cloud-native workloads and Kubernetes overall. Just to give a little bit of an introduction, we are the Kairos team. Kairos is a sandbox project at the CNCF, and we're aiming to become incubated as soon as we fulfill all the requirements, of course. What does Kairos do? We basically take Linux distribution and transform them into immutable image-based systems. You can use Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, Alpine, and all the others you see here. It's declarative using Docker files and YAML because we believe those are already the tools that we're using in Cloud Native overall. So you don't have to learn anything new outside of that. It's container-based, despite being a distribution that you can install on Metal. After the first installation, everything else happens through images, OCI images. Then it's like I was mentioning, designed for Linux and Kubernetes workloads. And the main problem that we try to solve is to have easy day two operations. So especially, for example, if you're at the edge and you cannot bring an engineer to the space, Kairos will have, for example, automatic rollbacks in case of an upgrade going bad. With Kairos, we have at the moment 5 maintainers, 10 official contributors, plus more people who have committed one thing or another in the GitHub community. We have at the moment 2 organizations. The main one with 4 maintainers is SpectreCloud, and now we have one maintainer, William Rizzo from Mirantis. And we've had also stakeholders, so companies that have come for a section of time to bring certain features to the project. For example, my name is Mauro Morales. I used to be part of the Special Purpose Operating Systems Working Group, and that's how we found a home here now with you guys. Very happy to be able to be here among you. And yeah, so as you've been hearing, we take different Linux distributions and pass them through this Kairos factory. So initially, we didn't really have an intention of building our own distribution. We know that that can be quite some work. And after going through the Kairos factory, all these distributions get different features like immutability, AB upgrades, rollback. As you probably have heard from other different similar distributions, just to name a few, Flatcar, Bottle Rocket, and similar ones. On top of that, optionally, you can get features like Trusted Boot or Kubernetes if you're interested to get them. But because of our design to play well with as many distributions as we can, our matrix, just to give you an idea, looks more or less like this. We have all the different distributions without Kubernetes, with K3s, with K0s, for x86, for Raspberry Pi, for NVIDIA. You can imagine that the whole thing becomes really, really complex, a lot of artifacts. We just released V3.7 and it was more than 450 artifacts, for example. So of course, that becomes a load for us, though more than that is the fact that unfortunately we cannot give all the same features on all the distros. So to give you an example here, Alpine has all the core features, but we cannot deliver Trusted Boot on it. We'll see in a minute why. Or, for example, in Ubuntu at the moment, we can deliver most features, but it's not working on the Raspberry Pi. We'll also talk about that. While ideally we would like to have at least one distribution where we can really deliver all, if not most distributions. So one of the aspects that we found out is that the surface area of the distribution matters a lot. To give you an idea, if you have a certain CVE that has been patched upstream, because we are image-based systems, our users have to build a new image, and then with that new image, perform an upgrade. If you're inside a data center, that might not be a problem. Maybe it involves costs, but you can have the traffic. But if you're at the edge, this can be very problematic. You probably don't want to be doing that very often, but if you don't do it often, your systems are exposed, right? So what we found is that we started investigating underneath, and we saw that one candidate could be the C library. And we saw that in our, to give you an example, by the way, this is not right or wrong, this is your comparison table. You can see that Alpine at the moment of looking had 6 CVEs found, while the GNU C library had 157. What does that mean? That Alpine needs to be rebuilt less often for this particular scenario. And the other thing is that Muscle is a much smaller library, 1/5 of the GNU C library, and that ends up in smaller images, which is also beneficial for reducing the amount of data that needs to be sent over the wire. So, of course, you might have said, hey, let's just use Alpine everywhere then. But unfortunately, that's not the case. One of our most interesting features that some of our users like, especially on devices that look like this one, this is just an illustration, where you really need to be sure that only your system, your operating system runs, is what we call trusted boot, is the mix of secure boot plus measured boot plus user data encryption. It's all based on the design ideas from Leonard Pottering on his blog post, Brave New Trusted Boot World, if you want to check it out. Ours is just an implementation of that. And our users really like it for the level of security. But again, you might, as you can see here, if for the distributions that are using systemd, we are able to deliver this feature because systemd boot already streamlined all the work for us. While with the grub2, the images, sorry, the distributions that use grub2, this is technically feasible, but it doesn't come out of the box. So it would take really a lot of work from our side to be able to provide this feature. So we don't provide it. And that puts us in a bit of a situation. If you want to have like these scenarios where you have to kind of pick 2 out of 3, right? Like if you want a small footprint and you want this idea of cloud images with lifecycle management through Kairos, well, you can use our Kairosified version of Alpine. If you want measured boot through systemd boot and the cloud lifecycle management that provides Kairos, well, you can use Ubuntu or Fedora at the moment. But there was no option that we could offer up until now that would offer you measure boot, small footprint, plus cloud lifecycle management. We found out that post-market OS happens to have those 2 features that we want. So you could say, okay, let's just take Alpine and, post-market OS, and let's post-market OS all the things. But another thing that we analyze is that many times when we are working with one distribution, certain patches that come from that distribution make it so that some of the features end up being late in the Kairos pipeline, we could say. And just to give you an example, and by the way, this again is not a right or wrong thing. Every distribution does the things according to that is best for their needs, right? And 2 stories here. One is Ubuntu, like a year ago or so. They did a kernel configuration that disabled the FEI stop support. Why? Because they don't need it. They don't support Ubuntu. They boot on the Raspberry Pi directly through the Raspberry Pi firmware. But when they did this change, they broke Raspberry Pi boot for us because we do use Ubuntu. Another case was that the systemd version that came in Debian was too old, so we couldn't ship trusted boot with Debian. So in the end, we ended up saying, okay, so what if we build this image ourselves? Famous last words, how hard can it be, right? And what we did is we put together just a few components, that is muscle, systemd, and Linux kernels, and as little patches as possible. And that is what we now call Hadron, is owned by the Kairos team, and as such is owned by the CNCF, is part of the Kairos project. It's a minimal distribution. It's not aimed at running at your desktop, but of course, if someone wants to take the time to make that work, well, you're more than welcome. But it's really aimed at working together with Kairos. Like I was mentioning, the core is these 3 components, making it as small as possible. We offer 2 booting mechanisms. One is trusted boot using the unified system images or unified kernel images, as they are also known. And if you don't need that level of security, you can continue using the old BIOS and grub. And our goal is to have alignment as close as possible to the upstream projects, with the idea that we can, through that, deliver sooner the features that we want to give to our users. And finally, the other part that already existed, the whole lifecycle management comes through Kairos. So through the Kairos agent, you can have A/B upgrades, you can have zero-touch deployments, you can have Kubernetes, everything that the Kairos framework was already providing um, to all the other distributions. So you might say, okay, then let's throw away all the other distributions. Let's just do everything with Hadron. But of course, that would not really satisfy our goal. We want all of the distributions to be first-class citizens because they all fulfill a certain purpose for our different users. For example, if we have someone in a highly regulated environment and they are using Red Hat they are paying licenses, well, we want to continue giving them support so that they can continue using that. Or if some team already has, I don't know, Ubuntu know-how, we want to continue giving them support. The only thing that Hadron is really coming to do is to fulfill this particular space that before we really couldn't fulfill with any of the other different distributions. And that's pretty much what this new distribution is aiming at. If you have any question, comments, I will be happy to answer. And here are the links if you're interested to dig into it yourself. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you, Mauro. Any questions from the group? I think Yuan had to drop, sadly. I guess who do you see using the Hadron mostly? Like because
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just because the Kairos seems very flexible and this seems very specific to something. It seems like you're kind of the specific choices you've made are really interesting. So who do you see using this?
Yeah, we believe that especially at edge devices that might have limitations in firmware. For example, we've noticed with some of the machines that you can purchase, in your average computer store, not servers themselves, but I don't know, NUCs or things like that, come with a limited amount of space that you can load in the firmware. Sometimes it's 200 megs. And now with this distribution, we can provide a solution for them so that they can put Kubernetes at the edge in, we could say, lower prices devices instead of having to invest in high-end server or something like that. And also maybe to people who really don't have a particular how could I say, they are not biased for any particular other distribution. They just want to get the cloud native experience of running Kubernetes, and they are happy to let us run the OS part, right? But of course, if you want to extend and modify it, that's also possible. You own, at the end of the day, the pipeline. It's very easy to put it on a GitHub action and start producing your own images. I see Rajas, I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, you have a question?
Yeah, it's Rajas. First of all, thanks for the presentation. This is very interesting.
Thank you.
My question is are you just targeting edge right now, or do you have wider use cases on your roadmap? One thing that comes to my mind is the image builder project that we have in Kubernetes 6. Have you talked to image builder maintainers, or would you be interested in talking to them? Because there is a use case wherein they have to generate a bunch of uh, machine images for multiple distributions based on different hypervisors. And if this becomes the substrate on which they can build different package managers, that could help their CI, I guess. I think there is some use case there, but would you consider this to have on your roadmap?
Thanks for the question. First, Edge is more or less what guides the features in terms that in the Edge you have a lot more restrictions and limitations. But you can run Kairos on cloud. We have already made cloud images on Metal, on VMs. So we could say it covers the whole spectrum, I would like to think. But thanks for pointing out. I didn't know about this project, the image builder maintainers team you mentioned.
Yep, I'll post a link.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll be happy to reach out to them. And yes, if Kairos could be a solution for them, I'm more than happy to work together with them. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the project. I have one more question. So you mentioned is no package manager. So if so, how people can manage their libraries in your like image-based system?
That's a very good question. Thank you. So right now we're aiming at either you build within the container image the packages that you want with make and the traditional way of building of a Linux package, or you extend the images through systemd system extensions. The benefit of doing it this way is that if you need something like Trusted Boot, you can also sign your system extensions and make sure that your machines only boot the extensions that you sign yourself. This allows you that you might have maybe the only one base image, but depending on the device where you are doing the installation, you put those system extensions or not. Having said that, you can pretty much play and figure out other mechanisms. For example, one of our colleagues, just for fun, thought, wait, what happens if I put APK here? And he managed to install it and was installing packages from Arch just a few minutes later. So, but yeah, it's mainly by building those packages yourself at the moment. Yeah.
So furthermore, like how hard it is to build the like specific library based on the project, how hard it is?
It will depend on the library, to be honest. There are some components that really require to fiddle with. It's not like you just download the sources and say make build, make, install. Some do require to touch more aspects of the system, right? But if you need to install Git, for example, it's as simple as downloading the sources, make build, make install, and you have Git in your system.
Okay, so maybe like one more, like so you build this system with like linear kernels. So is that possible to working with other distribution like you mentioned, or like Red Hat?
Yeah, right now, by default, Kairos already works with Red Hat. So if you start from a Red Hat container, you just need to paste one line later where you say you're going to use the Kairos initializer, which is one tool that we provide, and you just tell which components you want. For example, if you want Kubernetes or not. And the Kairos initializer will know on its own, oh, I'm running on Red Hat, so I need to install all of these other packages in order to provide the full image-based immutable experience.
So maybe one more question. Like you sorry, I have too many questions. So you mentioned this is immutable. So how is it? So what do you mean immutable here? So
yes, that's a very good pointing it out. Immutability is a bit of a misnomer in general, I think, for what I see or what we agree with the different people building these systems. a certain area of the system is immutable. Let's say that you're in Ubuntu and you were going to do an apt install. Var lib is immutable, and therefore apt install will tell you, I'm sorry, I cannot write any package, any library there, and therefore you cannot modify the system that way. Some other areas as well are immutable, but of course, not the whole system is immutable. Otherwise, it couldn't write any logs or run anything. There's also another area that is what we call persistent, because since every upgrade is a complete change of an image, right? There is certain data that you want to take over with you through the different images, and that is an overlay FS system, file system that you configure through a Cloud Init like configuration, and it will come with you through the different installations. I see Rajas is also lifting the hand.
Yeah, I had a related question. So you mentioned the package manager aspect can be done in two ways with sources, and the other one being OCI images. So if I understand this correctly, I can take a from scratch substrate of Hedron and overlay that with an OCI image with a certain file system, and I would get a resultant file system that would have the desired packages. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely take a Hadron image, use that as your base image, so to speak, from that Hadron version, and then take packages from a different distribution or whatever, and just copy and move them there, or build them yourself and copy them and there and have the final system. That is definitely one way, but you could also do the system extension. It will really depend on your use case, to be honest, but that should be possible. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mara. Thanks again for your presentation and the great questions from everybody. I did try to take some notes in the notes doc. You can feel free to update my my incorrect context.
Thanks.
And then the image builder was mentioned is in chat as well, the link there. Any other topics for today from anybody? I'll take that as a no. Just a quick mention again, we are finalizing our speaker list for KubeCon. Hope to see all of you there. And then I guess we have probably another community meeting before that as well. So we'll see all of you next month.
See you, everyone. Ciao. Bye, everyone.